let's get into Giannis Antetokounmpo and John Haliburton, I believe, is Tyrese Haliburton's dad's name. And I guess John Haliburton is some sort of basketball referee, maybe in Wisconsin or somewhere. But he came onto the court. Tyrese hits a game-winning shot, and his dad runs onto the court and gets into it eventually. He comes on the court to taunt. He waves a sign and starts taunting Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated last night, and Tyrese Haliburton's dad, the game was in Indianapolis, comes on the court and gets in the face of Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is crazy, and everybody knows it's crazy. And so I want to start with Giannis explaining his thoughts, his reaction to what happened between himself and John Haliburton. Let's play shot number 2.
I believe like being humble in victory. That's how I am. Now there's can be a lot of people out there that are like, no, when you win the game, you gotta talk shit, and you know it's a green light for you to be disrespectful towards somebody else. I disagree. I've won the championship. They haven't. Okay, and that doesn't say anything. I'm not trying to minimize their effort, but I remember when I won, my mom that she's never missed the games from February 11th or 13th when she came in Milwaukee against the Knicks. She's never missed a game. When we won the championship, I remember my mom, she was scared to cross. She was like, am I allowed to come and hug my son? I see, except now my brother does media. For this year, he wants to come back and play. But like, except in that, you've never seen my family like see courtside. See, this is not something that we do. We don't. I try to keep my family away from the game. But losing the game, emotions run high. Having a fan, which at the moment I thought he was a fan, but then I realized he was Tyrese's son, which I love. Tyrese, I think he's a great competitor. He was his dad, sorry. Coming in the floor and showing me his son a towel with his face. This is what we do. This is what we effing do. This the F we do. This. I feel like that's very, very disrespectful.
So that's Giannis doing what Giannis does. Giannis is probably one of the classiest guys in the NBA and maybe in all of professional sports. It's a well-reasoned explanation. Hats off to Giannis Antetokounmpo, and hats off to Tyrese Haliburton. And because he came in the post-game press conference and criticized and called out his dad. I found that very promising and appropriate. Let's play shot number 3.
You know, as far as the incident between Giannis and my pops, I had no idea it happened until I got to the back and was showed the video. Me and my pops have talked about that, and I don't agree with, you know, what transpired there from him. You know, I think basketball is basketball, and let's keep it on the court. And I think that he just, you know, got excited, saw his son make a game winner, and came on the court. But I think we had a conversation, and you know, I think he just needs to just allow me to just play basketball, stay over there. I'll come to him to celebrate. But I think it's the emotions of the game just got excited there. But I talked with him. I'll talk with Giannis eventually about it. Just, you know, I don't think that my pops was in the right at all there, and unfortunate, you know, what happened in the end there. But I mean, this series was a lot of war of words, a lot of war of antics, a lot of stuff going back and forth, and that's just part of, you know, this rivalry and what we've built here over the last couple of years. And you know, it's unfortunate what happened there, but I think it's just competition. And as far as my pops, again, I don't agree with what happened there. We'll have a conversation. You know, everybody's grown men, and you know, we'll just go from there.
So, all appropriate. You got Giannis and Tyrese all with the appropriate comments. You even have John Haliburton, the dad. He put out an apology. I sincerely apologize to Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Pacers organization, for my actions following tonight's game. This was not a good reflection on our sport or my son, and I will not make that mistake again. This is, wow, look at this. People made a mistake. People are calling it out. People are apologizing. But because we live in this era where there's two sides to every story, someone, and I can't believe it's Shaquille O'Neal, somehow found a way to take the other side on this issue. And it's hard for me to understand, but this is the world we live in. Everything can be defended. I'm not comparing John Haliburton to this analogy I'm about to make. But there are some things where there's not another side to the story. There are just some truths. And so when a 17-year-old boy stabs another 17-year-old boy over a disputed seat, there's not two sides to that story. And particularly when there's been no evidence presented that there is another side. But people have done that. I don't understand how Shaq found another side to this story, but he did last night on TNT. Let's play the clip.
Does your view change now that you've heard that?
No, because
And you saw the towel?
I don't care. It comes with the territory.
It does
I don't
not.
give a damn.
No, it
Yes,
does
it
not.
does. Yes,
No,
it does.
doesn't.
Yes, it does.
So what
Yes,
would
it
you?
does.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. If it comes with the territory, and a fan or a dad comes up to you after you win and puts a towel in the face and curses at you, what would you have done?
I played 19 years.
What would you have done?
Listen, you can't do nothing because we're not allowed to do anything. I played 19 years. That happens plenty of times.
It does not happen when
territory.
a family member's on the court as you celebrate.
Bro, a fan. Yes, it does. A fan. Yes, it does.
That does not happen.
Yeah,
And see,
it
the
does.
thing that bothers me about
Yeah,
it.
it does. Hold on, Kenny. Kenny. When we lost to Houston, you don't think people had brooms going to the locker room hitting us with freaking brooms?
That ain't the same as one.
It is the same thing. It's a fan. He's a fan.
It's
Forget
not
he's
the
a
same
fan. He's a
thing.
fan.
It's not the same thing.
It comes
you
with
think
the
just because
territory.
you said something, you yell to make it true. It don't make it true.
It does
And
make
the
it
thing
true.
that
I know what I'm
bothers me,
talking about.
Ernie,
Listen, it's a
the thing
fan.
that bothers me,
Comes with the
if
territory.
Giannis had to whoop his ass, Giannis would be in trouble. No fan should come on the court
But they do
harassing
all
a
the
player
time. But they do
during
all
the
the
game.
time.
They do not come on the court. And so I will say that if they do all the time or if they don't all the time,
Y'all just soft. That's all.
because you pay for a ticket doesn't entitle you to be on the floor.
It doesn't matter. It comes with the territory. He lost. Get him out of that. Listen, he lost.
If you have access to get there,
Listen, it's
doesn't make it right, and you're not entitled
I'm not saying
to.
it's right.
You're not entitled to interrogate, or I mean, not interrogate, to antagonize.
Listen.
Players.
I'm not
That
saying,
is not right.
Listen,
He is 100% wrong.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying don't be a punk and whine about it. It comes to the territory. It happens.
He
You move
didn't
on.
whine about it.
You lose and you move on.
No, that's not. And
Yeah,
you don't think what Giannis said what's really amazing, Ernie. And let me tell you what another thing bothers me. If the Cavaliers were to beat them, and one of their family members did that to his son, he'd blow a gasket. He would blow a gasket. If the Cavaliers beat the Pacers and one of their Mitchell's dad came out there and started, Haliburton's dad would go crazy because he knows that's wrong. We like his dad, but that's
You're supposed to go crazy. But hey, man,
I'm glad Haliburton.
But there's a difference between being excited about winning the thing and then getting into somebody's face.
I don't care what y'all talking about. It comes with the. Listen, I done played 19. I done went to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, where they do a lot of stuff.
And they were wrong too.
But it doesn't matter.
Right. And they were wrong too.
And you don't hear me whine about it. When I lose, I go home and regroup and come back. That's all I'm saying.
Shaq, this is the NBA that had the malice in the palace. This is the NBA that the players have an animus towards the fans. They do. You can't defend this. You just can't.